I'm Kirstin Kelly, and I have developed a whole lot of videos for you to help you improve your riding. Now, these aren't professionally schooled horses. These are real people on real horses with real problems, just like you. So it's all about seeing what goes wrong and then trying to give you some tips so that you can fix your horse at home. Today's video is going to be explaining the difference between bend and flexion. And I think people think about bend all the time, but they forget that straightness is the first thing you want to achieve. Being able to control the horse's body with your legs and between his shoulders, and that being able to change the flexion. So flexion is where the neck stays in the center of the shoulders and the head flexes to the right or flexes to the left without bend. When you can achieve that, then you've got the horse between your leg and you've got the control of the shoulders. Often what happens is that the first thing we're taught is, oh, let's ride a 20-metre circle and let's create bend. But as soon as we start bending the whole horse's neck, what starts to happen is that when on the stiff side, the horse, instead of just bending the neck around, it actually swings the whole neck over here. So then it walks around like this. So you can see when I do that, I've got a crooked neck and I've got all the shoulder weight going out through the outside shoulder. So before we go into bend and circles, you need to be able to ride straight lines, changing flexion, and being able to isolate the flexion changes before we start working on the neck bend. And then you get a real control of the horse and you get the softness because it's all in little bite-sized pieces rather than big swings from one direction to the other. So one of the most important things to remember is that when the spine is straight, it can elevate. So when we bend the horse's neck too much, what happens is that we can get a moment where we lose the outside shoulder. So what I want you to demonstrate now is bend. So when we bend, I want you just to focus on the neck. So maybe open the inside rein, very good. Now, if we bend the horse in that moment and we keep that connection, that's fine. But if we're on the stiff side, what tends to happen is that instead of just curving the neck to the inside, the whole horse swings the neck right from the base and it goes really crooked. Good girl. So what we want to try to do before we really get into bend is work on flexion. So I want you to think that from her tail to her pole stays relatively straight, and then we're just going to change the flexion at the junction of her head and neck. So what's really important is the opposite hand to the flexion controls the shoulder. So when we flex her this way, the other hand is keeping the neck central, correct. Flip it over now and do it to the other direction. Good, now you see how she wanted to swoop the neck to the right. So this is the trickier rein. Keep this contact here, keeping the neck central as you flip her flexion to the right. Correct, enough. Now flick her back to the left. And see how your outside hand's gone wobbly and loose? She should stay in that hand so that then it's only subtle, not too much. That's a little bit too much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to walk off. Good. And then I want you to walk towards the camera. So go quite deep to the fence. And when you're walking towards the camera, I want you to play with being able to walk her in a straight line, but change the flexion from left to right, back to left, back to right. And I want you to think about, can I control the shoulders and the body with my legs? But also as I'm flexing her one way, am I controlling the outside shoulder? So, see how hard it is? Good. Now flex her the other way. Keep control of the left shoulder as you flex her right. Now turn right. So as the rider rides towards the camera, take note that when she flexes to the right, she needs to maintain the left rein. See how the horse wobbles? Good, now change and go to the left flexion. And as she flexes left, she's controlling the horse's body with her legs and the right rein. There you go, now we'll change to the right flexion and again, channel her straight, very well corrected, and turn away from the camera. Start with the outside flexion first because that gets her in the outside rein a little. Good. And again, now to the inside. Think as you change the flexion, you're trying to maintain the body between the leg. Keep her in your outside hand, correct, good. And now flexion to the outside, back to the inside. And you note that when she goes to flex to the inside, she wants to swing the whole neck in rather than go straight and just change the flexion at the pole. Let's turn around and go the other direction now. Actually, no, let's do it in trot. Good girl, hands carried. Good. So now that the rider is in trot, you'll see that sometimes it gets even harder. Slight flexion out, correct, slight flexion in, keeping her straight with your legs and your outside rein. Now, she got it in the end, but it took quite a long time for her to be able to get the right flexion. Here is a tip. I want you to ride inside flexion down the long side, but lift the inside hand up so that it's about flexion, not bend. Correct, paddle with your inside rein. As you come towards the camera again, Dee, I want you to ride that same thing. Slight flexion out first, then flexion to the inside, correct? And lift the inside hand up and forward for flexion, correct? Job's done. Good job. Good job. How does that feel? Now make a circle around me. So now we've swapped onto a circle. When you're on the circle, I want you to think about the inside leg is creating a little bit of bend around into your outside rein, which is controlling the outside shoulder. And this is the horse's stiff rein. So even though her neck wants to bend, because that's her weak spot, the flexion's not there. Can you see that? So we need to try to lift this inside rein up and forward just to isolate the flexion at the junction of her head and neck, correct? Unfortunately, she dropped behind the bit and went too low, but this is tight for her. You have it excellent now. Can you feel that? Good job. Good. So we're going to play with the outside flexion there, which she loves anyway. And now we're going to flick the flexion back to the inside. But we're maintaining the neck in the center of the shoulders. This is really important, guys. If the neck is crooked to the inside, you can't get the flexion. See there, it's not quite flexed at the pole. Lift the inside hand up. Good girl. Now you'll see the horse keeps dropping behind the bit and going a little deep. This is a jumping horse, so you know it's probably a little tight, hasn't done a lot of dressage. So what we're trying to do is just get the correct pattern and the flexion, and then we'll worry about this frame a little bit later. Excellent. Just let's change the rein and go the other direction, Dee. Good. So when we watch the mare on this side, you can see that the neck stays really central between her shoulders, and it's easy to flex her to the inside. The whole way round, you can clearly see the inside eyelash. She has lovely bend. And when we compare this coming towards the camera and the other rein, you see how clearly you've got lovely inside flexion. This reign's easy, isn't it, Dee? So for you to ride a circle this way, you'll go, oh, this is easy compared to the other direction. Yep. And the answer is because instead of giving you correct flexion, she just creates a crooked neck in the other direction. Okay, you can finish on that. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please subscribe so that you don't miss out on my next one. But also, sometimes when you school by yourself, it's really hard to know whether you're actually doing it 100% right. So what I do have is I have a mentorship program. It's called KMP, and you can send your videos to me and I critique them, and we meet for Q&As every week, and it's kind of like just having somebody who's in your corner. So it's like you can message me and say, hey, this is what the horse is doing, and I will message you straight back with some techniques and some ideas of how we're going to fix the problem together. So if you'd like to know more information, just check out my website, Kirstin Kelly Equestrian.